TJ Maxx reported some earnings here today, some pretty solid numbers. The stock's pretty much unchanged on the day, although it did hit a 52-week high intraday here today. So good news for the folks at TJ Maxx. Mary Ross Gilbert covers the stock for Bloomberg Intelligence as a retail analyst. She's based out there in LA. Mary, I know you guys like the TJ Maxx. I mean, Alex is a fan. Alex Steele's a fan. Scarlett Fu's a fan. Lisa Mateo's a fan.
I have the card.
You've got the card.
I have the credit card.
All right, very good. Mary, are you a fan? Are investors a fan?
Paul, you are absolutely right. I'm a fan too, and it's because they carry such a variety of brands and it appeals to all income groups. So if you have a luxury consumer, you can get Balenciaga, you can get Chloe, Lowe. So they carry all of the brands. And then if you're more pressed and you're really a value consumer, they have Steve Madden, they have Theory. So they have Puma, they have Nike, Adidas. So they have all the brands that consumers want, and that's why their Marmaxx, which is TJ Maxx and Marshall's division, reported a comp sales increase of 6%. So, and that's why, if you look at the overall results, they were up 5%. So a lot of strength there within the Marmaxx home goods. And of course, Canada was up 8%. So we're seeing consumers flock to get the brands that they want, and they've had some amazing buying opportunities, so their margins were higher.
So the way that TJX stocks its stores is that they get inventory that hasn't sold at full price stores. But if all these merchants, all these retailers are managing their inventories better and don't have a lot of excess inventory, where does TJX get its inventory? I mean, it has to have another option, right?
Yeah, Scarlett, you raise a good question, but the fact is that some of the retailers, but also the brands themselves. So if you think of, for example, PVH, which has the Tommy Hilfiger and Calvin Klein brands, we see those brands pretty prevalent throughout off-price. So that's been a good channel for them to sort of release some of that excess inventory. And when they work with some of their wholesale partners, including the department stores, so where you have product that's not selling, off-price is just a natural fit to be able to release that inventory. So you want to keep your inventory fresh in the stores, especially when you're a full-price operator. And there hasn't been any slowdown in terms of that excess inventory. And that's why even on the luxury side, where typically you wouldn't think you'd find markdowns, it's been pretty prevalent, especially with overall weakness in luxury.
So what is the folks at TJ Maxx, what are they saying about the consumer these days?
Well, the consumer, I mean, they're really seeing strength. So it's interesting because when you sort of read the take on Target with their results today, and they sort of cited, the consumer is very cautious. But that caution, I think what's really going on is that they've got the brands that consumers want. So those that are executing are the ones that are getting the sales, because even some retailers that are more full price oriented are generating sales. Or they may be promotional, like we're going to get Gap when they go to report tomorrow, and we think we're going to see strong results there out of Old Navy and out of Gap, and those are their two largest brands. So we think that they're just executing really well and providing great fresh merchandise, but they're also promotional and they provide value to the consumer. So the consumer is flocking to value, there's no doubt about it, but we do see some, operators. You've got Ralph Lauren on the luxury side. They continue to outperform, and their sales are always topping expectations too. And consumers there are willing to pay full price. So they're a lot less promotional. Every year, they seem to be less promotional. For that reason, they're able to sell at full price.
So clearly, TJX has a strategy that works well given the current environment. And even when the economy is doing well, I would argue it has a strategy that works well. At what point do investors want more from the company than just executing on the strategy? Will they want, M&A? Do they want consolidation? Do they want innovation from TJX?
Yeah, well, so that's the reason why TJX is focused internationally. So they're going to be entering Spain in 2026, so coming next year. And of course, they've had they have two joint venture investments, one in Mexico and then one in the Middle East. And they're both off-price retailers that they've invested in. So they're basically taking their talent and providing them a platform to leverage their talent in these joint ventures and to grow that way. So they're always looking for ways, because Scarlett, you bring up a good point. TJX trades at a pretty high premium in the off-price space, and generally it's a pretty big premium. That is due to their very consistent execution. But you're right, consumers keep wondering, well, how can they keep growing on top of all this growth? And yet they keep doing it. But as they talk about, look, they have drops several times a week. There's not a lot of retailers that offer fresh merchandise several times a week. And they curate the merchandise by location. So they're very cognizant of the demographics for each location.
Mary Ross Gilbert, thank you so much for joining us. Mary Ross is a senior equity analyst covering the retail space for Bloomberg Intelligence. He's out there in our LA office talking about TJX.